Hello there and welcome to a new show, GameHammer Extra, where myself, Zoe Kirk-Robinson, and my lovely assistant and wife, Jennifer Kirk, are going to talk about some fantastic games that we really enjoy. Today, we're talking about 10 pretty cheap games that we really like for the PlayStation 2. Do you want to start us off, Jen?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the one that's on top. And the first one that I wanted to pick is a particular favourite of mine for two reasons. It's Singstar ABBA, and it's from the Singstar franchise, which is, there's actually, I don't think we've actually counted up how many different Singstar games there are.
It's about 20 odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's about 20 odd.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of them, but they're a brilliant game, and they all follow the same format. Basically, it's karaoke, but on the PS2, and this particular one is purely ABBA songs. So what is there not to like? And of course, after a few drinks at a party, karaoke is always good fun. I know you like it.
I like it without a few drinks. I actually don't drink, and I still play karaoke because it's good fun. I can't sing, but it's good fun.
I'm glad that she's admitted that she can't sing, because when she's on the mic, she thinks she is God's gift to...
I can match the pitch to the lines. That's all you need. You don't need singing ability. You just need to pitch to match the lines. It's alright.
I don't think that's the whole point. But it's a brilliant game, and surprisingly enough, considering how awesome these games are, most of them can be picked up for under £1.
Yeah, in fact, I think I bulked out my collection with the majority of the ones available that I didn't have for, what, £5 or £6? That was
something like that.
Fair number of games for a really small price.
Yeah, but this one's got all the classics. And we've got Chiquita, Dancing Queen. Oh, come on.
Oh, my goodness,
what party is complete without, especially a gay party?
Yeah, there's got to be a Dancing Queen.
Yeah, gimme a man after midnight. As you can tell, I can't sing either. Take a Chance on Me, Super Trooper, Summer Night City, Voulez-Vous. I don't think what's on the back is a complete. No, it says...
No, it's not a complete list, but it's got all the really big ones like Waterloo. I love Waterloo.
Definitely. And the other thing as well about these is that the actual videos play whilst you're singing as well. So it's there's more going on. There's plenty of fun for everybody.
Yeah, the people watching can enjoy what's on screen. A bit like some of the other games I'm going to show as well, where there's something for the people who aren't playing at the time, even though they're not playing.
Definitely. Well, we'll put that one to one side and let's move on. This, I know, is your personal favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
She loves this.
If anyone looks at my website or ever asks me, this game comes at the top of my list of brilliant PlayStation 2 games. It's Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. I have to say, there are very few perfect racing games, and this is one of them. It is fantastic. The whole thing is basically just drive, and nothing gets in the way of driving. That's the experience. But if you're not really into the usual Outrun driving thing, there are some challenges in there too. It's got all of the classic tracks right from the original right through to Outrun 2 SP from the arcades. It's got the music, it's got the cars, it's got the landscape. It looks fantastic. Even after all these years, it looks fantastic. Wonderful game. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Get a copy. It's only worth about £1.50 in shops at the moment, so grab it while it's still cheap, because people haven't realised just how good this is.
And the other thing as well I like about that Outrun is that it's good for people who are into the retro stuff, maybe reliving things that they liked as a kid.
Yep.
And if you're old like me and remember actual real arcades, that game's got the real vibe of the sort of things that were out back then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still perfectly accessible for newcomers to the gaming sphere.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, this next one, again, we've talked about retro and being old enough to have actually remember real arcades. And this game, Time Crisis 3, again, I picked it up quite cheap. It's one of the ones that we bulked the collection out with. But it reminds me so much. I keep saying it's like Operation Wolf.
Yes.
Which, if you remember from the days of the arcade, that was one of the biggies. And it also, it definitely came out for the Amiga as well. But what really kicks this up to top gear for me is the addition of the light gun. You can play it without, but really you don't want to. But if you have the light gun, and again, the light gun is another peripheral that is really quite cheap, so there's no excuse to not pick one up. It really does make this game, and it's actually, I mean, even your parents enjoyed playing this game. And
my dad especially, playing as Bond,
Yeah, definitely, and it's certainly a good all-round game, and it is really fun to play. And again, very accessible for people who aren't natural gamers and hardcore gamers alike.
Yeah, so Time Crisis 3 or Time Crisis 2, either one, get a copy of them because they're great fun.
Certainly so. You know you want to.
Okay, I think this was my choice, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is more of a Zoe game, TM.
Now, the PlayStation has an awful lot of sports games. I think we can say it's inundated with them, but few stand out. And one of those that does stand out is NHL 2002. Now, this is one of the EA series that comes out every year, and every year they tweak it, change a few things, but 2002 is where they got it right. It's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I think with a lot of these sports franchises, and FIFA is another one, and Pro Evolution Soccer, and there's rugby, there's golf, what you find is that they will bang another version out every year, but there's a sweet spot. There's one where everything just came together, and it's kind of, that's the point that they jumped the shark. And NHL 2002 for National Hockey League. Yeah. This is the sweet spot.
It's got all the action that you want from the old stuff. If you played back on the Mega Drive and things like that, and you knew that it was an arcade style game, it wasn't perfect recreation of hockey. This still has the arcade feel, but it has the action of the modern hockey games. It has the realism of the more modern hockey game. Not entirely, because it still has a kind of arcade feel to it, but it's just fantastic. You just get into it straight away, and all the keys are right for what you want to do. All of the actions that you're really going to need to do to play the game properly are there on the joypad. So you just press the buttons rather than having to fiddle with the triggers or redefine the keys. It's all just right, exactly how you want it, to be able to pick it up and play it. And that's why I go for that one.
Definitely so. A good all-round sports game. Anyway, the next one that we've picked out, we've chosen Rock Band. Now, the Rock Band, Guitar Hero, Band Hero franchises, they've spawned so many games. And again, a lot of those can be picked up pretty cheaply.
Yeah.
And the instruments too, certainly guitars we've seen fairly cheaply.
You can get them for about £3.50 in some places if you know where to look.
Yeah. But I'm more of a drummer, and we actually do have the drums for the PS2. And the thing about the later ones in the franchise, things like Rock Band, it's the full band rather than the guitar. So you can also do the singing as well.
Yeah.
And you can use those Singstar microphones on
which is a
these.
massive advantage.
Oh,
the Activision versions for later Guitar Heroes, they don't use the Singstar mic, so you need another mic, which means you've got another peripheral
more plastic
to fit into your collection of peripherals, which I think was a disadvantage on that side, because this being able to use Singstar means you can get more from what you've already got.
Definitely, but I mean, my personal preference, I really can't do the guitar, but the drums really do it for me, and I think that's the thing about these.
She's one of nature's drummers.
Isn't that always said as an insult?
It's a prejudicism, yeah.
Right, okay. But with this, it's like, depending on whether you want singing, whether you'd like to strum on a piece of tacky plastic, thinking that you're some kind of Axeman when
I'm sorry, but
not.
When I get hold of the Guitar Hero controllers, I am Hendrix.
Yes, her axe is on the bandstand. Her band is on the floor, laughing away. But certainly the track listing in these, it's a whole cross-section, really.
You don't need to go through them all. What's the best ones?
I like The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again. And also, when I was a teenager, I was a big Oasis fan. So it's got Rock and Roll Star by Oasis in there. But then also stuff like Creep by Radiohead. Metallica, you love that. It's got
Enter Sandman.
Then Muse, Hysteria, and a bit of punky stuff. The Clash, Bon Jovi, Blue Oyster Cult. It's all there, and of course,
good rock.
Definitely, yeah. And there's so many of these different things. We've picked this out as the example, but there's Rock Band 2, Rock Band Song Packs 1 and 2, and then you've got the Guitar Hero 5, which I quite liked, even though it got a bad rap.
And my problem was there was 85 songs on the disc for the PlayStation, because you've got to remember that the PlayStation doesn't have DLC, so you got the content that they would have sold separately otherwise on some of the other systems. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
I think it's something worth saying here is that, for me, was the selling point for sticking with the PS2. And actually, surprisingly enough, the PS2 really continued a long time. And because it couldn't do DLC, it meant they had to give you all the songs on the disc. So instead of buying the game and then being expected to fork out £1.50 a track.
Which is what happened with rock band Beatles, if I remember correctly.
Definitely.
A lot of the tracks were DLC.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 2 couldn't do that, of course.
Yeah, they put a Hoover in your pocket and kept sucking the cash out until all they got was lint.
But my problem with the Guitar Hero one, Guitar Hero 5, it's like 85 songs on a disc. Great. It takes a while to access each one of them, and most of them aren't worth the time.
Well, yeah, but
it's a huge amount of film.
It's a small price to pay for not having to pay extra. And to be honest, we're strong advocates of, if you buy a game, you've already given them your money. You're not paying them for the privilege of fleecing you every time you
Although, having said that, I'm not adverse to buying extra tracks for Rock Band and Guitar Hero. When it's tracks I want, and I realise you can't put everything ever on the disc because that would cost a fortune, but when you've got the option of getting a copy that's got them all on already, and then you buy for another system and have to pay extra, I think that's a bit wrong.
Well, yeah, but that's what the song pack add-ons were all about.
Well, yes and no.
Anyway,
you could play them without buying the original game. So this one was your pick, and you went straight for it. So let's have a look.
Yeah, I mean it's at the top end of the cheapy range. Given that it's the biggest selling PS2 game of all time, it's outsold any other game. By quite a big factor. It still holds its second-hand value.
Because it's a good game. So what is it?
Well, you're looking at £4 a copy, and it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And in many people's view, this is the pinnacle of the GTA franchise.
Yeah.
They did bring out several after it, but not on the PS2. So this was
the high point.
Definitely so. And it's an open world game, and there is so much to do. You can really get sucked in, and it's just perfect in every way. I mean, the open world map is so huge.
I would say it's not perfect.
Well, within the limitations of the
Those
hardware.
remote control aeroplane missions with that annoying guy.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, the game doesn't stop for the missions. You can go off and you can do whatever the hell you want in the game. And I like that. I always found it good de-stressing to go out and just do a few drive-bys. You know, shooting some punks in the... Well, in my case, I like shooting punks in the groin. But then there's also like mini-games. Things like getting all the spray tags, collecting all of the lucky oysters, the horseshoes. There's so much in there. Trucking missions. See, I like that because I can drive a truck. So I found them quite good fun. But there we go. Certainly, no PS2 game collection is complete without a copy of GTA San Andreas.
Okay, this one was my choice, and as I said before, lots of sports games on the PS2, but few of them really grab you as someone who isn't necessarily a sports fan. Now, I used to play football for my school team, and I don't like the football games that we've got. What were you saying there?
I was just going, I hate sport.
Right. But I can see you're on a monitor, you see, that's the thing. But this one, it feels more like NBA Jam from the old Mega Drive days where, yeah, it was basketball, but it was fun. And yeah, I like basketball, but nevertheless, this one is football, but it's fun. It's more like five-a-side, focusing on trick shots, and it's great, great fun. And that's FIFA Street 2, which I didn't think was going to be very good when I picked it up. I bought 1 and 2 for this set. There's only 2 of them in the set. Just basically to fill out the collection because they were fairly cheap. But when I played this, I was like, wow, this is good fun. It's a fast-paced game, but it's all about trick shots and tackling. There's a lot of free movement, and it's great. Plus, the soundtrack is fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. And how much was that? Because I know initially we only bought it because it was there, and at the time
it was about £1 to £1.50. I can't remember exactly how much.
We were trying to complete the FIFA set.
Yeah.
And some of the later FIFAs are quite expensive, even though they're not actually very good games. It's just purely a rarity thing.
Yeah, well, this one's from around the time of the FIFA World Cup 2006, because it's 2006.
Yeah.
And it's priced a little bit higher than that one, because I
think possibly because it is so good.
It's kept its value. It's really, really good. So get a copy of this. It's slightly better than the first one because it's more refined. So if you're going to go for either of them, get FIFA Street 2. It's really, really good.
Right, the next one I'm going to show is Half-Life on the PS2. Now, I originally remember playing this back in the days of PC gaming. I was actually at university when this came out, and it's actually the last of these sorts of games that I got into and I played before I graduated from university, and I thought, right, I've got to go out and get a job, and I just stopped playing games. And surprisingly enough, I found that quite easy. But this game, I did particularly enjoy. I never actually completed it, but I did enjoy playing it. And this followed on from previous to this. I'd been really into a game called Unreal. But this kind of took that concept further. With the way it was puzzles, it's dystopian, weird, post-apocalyptic feel. And I really like it. Yes, it had its flaws, but certainly it's a well-developed game that kind of felt like it was going somewhere, and there was a lot to it. So given the price that it goes for, it's one that I decided really is a good choice. I think it's less than £1.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But here's another thing. I've never played it. It's been in my collection for about 10 years. Never played it. I picked it up because it filled out a 4 for £20 offer back when the PS2 was still on the shelves.
Well, to be honest with you, I think you've missed a trick by not playing this. I think you got a good deal. And can you remember what the other 4 were that you bought with it? No. There you go. Most memorable of the 4.
Yeah. Okay, next one. I had to pick this one just because it involves James Bond flying through a helicopter on a jetpack to rescue someone. And it's From Russia with Love. Now, my dad really liked this game when he played it on his Xbox. And I have to say, when I put it in the PS2, I was instantly taken in. This is a classic Bond film in game form. It's great fun. And it's so easy to pick up and play.
Yeah, and there are a lot of James Bond games for the PS2.
Well, it's about 5 or 6, isn't it, if you include GoldenEye?
Yeah. And we picked this up, I think, more as an exercise of completing that set, as we've been collecting the PS2 games.
Yeah, it was the final one I had to get.
Yeah, and it's actually turned out to be the best, but it's got a jetpack. I mean, that GTA San Andreas has a jetpack as well. You cannot dislike a game with a jetpack. So really, I think just purely flying around in the jetpack sells it for me.
Okay. But finally, which one have you picked for the last one?
Well, I mentioned Unreal before when I was talking about the Half-Life game. So I've picked out Unreal Tournament. And this is kind of the multiplayer aspect of Unreal. So rather than having the original game where you kind of build up from crash landing on a planet in a prison ship and then trying to escape, this just like cuts all of that out. And this is more like playing Deathmatch Quake.
Yes.
But it's a more refined version. There's more weapons. You can have much more players on it. And it really is a gung-ho, maximum energy, bottom-kicking session.
I'm not entirely convinced you can have more players on this version. The PS2, it's 2-player.
Of course, because
with the multi-tap, it's 4-player.
Well, yeah, but that's still pretty good. And
I agree, it's good. And I used to play this so much on weekends with my friends. We used to shoot the crap out of each other. It was great.
Yeah.
The bot matches for the 1-player version, it's fun and you get to practice, but there's nothing compared to multiplayer on this game. It is so intense.
Yeah. And certainly back in my old PC gaming days, multiplayer was always good, because the trouble with game AI is it always has massive limitations.
Yes.
So any game that you can play multiplayer with real human beings is going to be a great time. Few beers and you're away. And certainly the PS2 doesn't really have anything like Doom or that. So this is really a great way of reliving that kind of game that was really big in the mid to late 90s.
Plus, it's just damn good fun. Even if you weren't there in the 90s doing the death matches of the internet. I certainly wasn't doing death matches of the internet in the 90s. My dial-up wouldn't have coped for a start. But this
18.8 baud modem.
No.
Listen to paint drying.
56. I went for the latest
She
version.
was posh.
Yeah.
I remember my dad upgrading to a 33.6 baud modem. This is like the Three Yorkshiremen sketch.
Oh,
Do you remember? Used to live in shoebox in middle of canal and had to lick it clean of a morning.
I remember you had to put your phone on top of the first modems that we ever had. And
on the cradle.
And you could dial into a bulletin board system if you were lucky, and it was still turned on.
God, I remember bulletin boards.
Oh man!
Back when I first got online at home, you had to actually dial up bulletin boards to get the information of where you actually dialed to log into the real internet.
My goodness.
But
anyway, we're getting off topic now.
Oh, we are a bit.
We've got a nice selection there. I'd say you've got about £10 worth of expense for 10 games, which is pretty good for PS2 set. If you got these games, then you've got a good start for a PS2 collection.
Oh, definitely. You wouldn't be disappointed, and certainly you wouldn't be short of something really good to play. So you know you want to. And I mean, some of these, I think some of them are like 5p games at the moment. There's never been a better time to collect for the PS2. And I think at most, I think San Andreas is the most expensive at £4. But then, generally speaking, there's none of these more than about £1.50 at the moment.
Yeah. So if you're fancying getting a PS2 collection together, you can't go wrong with starting with these ones.
Definitely. It's the console to start collecting.
It is. Right now it is. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this. And if you did, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they know how to start a good collection too. And do subscribe for future videos, because there will be more in the future. But until next time,
I've been Jennifer Kirk.
I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching GameHammer Extra, and we'll see you later.